hope that Magoha more. So right now, how many students do you have? Because that could have been just so if you are the ones who come to just secondary school. We have now started to inspect the private schools with whom we have been working very well. As you have been following this morning, I've inspected 2 institutions, but in 3 locations. Perhaps I start with the public sector, where we have done extremely well. As I speak to you, we are at 98% completion. The few that are left, the 2% that are left, I'm sure by mid of next week they will be complete. Therefore, the national government is going to roll the second phase of the public CBC classroom construction sometime during the course of next week. So you're aware the first phase was involving 6,497, and the next phase is a balance of that, which is just about 3,500 classrooms. So we will launch that from next week, and we are hoping that by the time we are handing over, I hand over when the next cabinet secretary has been sworn in. I'm not a politician, so I'm very happy. I'm going to continue working through and through, and I want to hope that by the end of August, at the very latest, I, as Magoha, son of Magoha, shall have delivered the 10,000 classrooms that His Excellency the President said should be ready by the time he's leaving. But then we have the private sector, with whom we have been working very well. And actually the children who are problematic, that is our own children, like my seeds now, would prefer perhaps to go to private schools. And so most of the working class children, instead of giving us pressure at the top schools, which are basically going to help at the senior school, we would want the private sector to develop standalone junior high school. And this is perhaps the very best example. I realize the press did not follow me inside for whatever reason, but if you like, you can go inside without me. This is a very important development. There are 8 classrooms here, which means instead of children from Kisumu rushing to the alliances and the Kenya high schools of this world, for junior high school, they will be given the same service here in Kisumu. So I don't see the pressure and the negative energy and attitude that we are having. I have been assured by the head of the private schools, who is Mr. Ochomi here, that they already have 1,200 classrooms ready, and that by the end of July, they will have another 5,000 classrooms ready. Now that is an extra space that is available for us, and the government is going to continue to facilitate and ensure that these schools are registered as quickly as possible. There is a process. The fact that I've even commissioned this one does not stop the process to continue, to work with our quality assurance people. I would like to assure the Private Schools Association that the government is ready and willing to work with them, and that when His Excellency the President has pronounced himself as the head of state and commander-in-chief of the defense forces, and we have agreed to work for him, to reiterate the fact that CBC is not going anywhere, and you can see how much money the government has placed in CBC. Our beloved children who are in grade 6, their examination is ready, and the small matter of how they are going to transit into that junior secondary is being worked on, and sooner rather than later, definitely before we leave office, we shall leave a clear pathway as to how the children are going to go to junior secondary schools. You know, I went to school And I look like one who went to school, isn't it? So if I have a granddaughter who is in a private school at 1 year, actually at 2 years, and she is being taught how to thread, I can see ladies among the fourth estate. She's being taught how to thread in a private school. Can we be so stupid to think that the international curriculum does not have CBC in it? I would want the politicians to stop taking this thing too far, because it's not a laughing matter. If you look at me going to work at this time in the morning, it is because of my grandchildren, isn't it? Yes. Why are we playing with, it's like life does not matter. So this CBC is here to stay for the time being. If in future you want to change it, you must give us a credible alternative and how it is going to be manned. So let us not talk cheap and toxic politics, which is confusing our children and even confusing some parents. That's all I want to say. And I also want to plead with the politicians that it's good to play politics. It's your league and it is your profession, isn't it? Don't you have some rules there? At least leave the children out of it. Please leave the children out of it. Because there's in every family, in every part of this country, there are children who are going to school. Why don't you play your politics there? And when you have decided that you want to do certain things, just do them instead of scaring everybody. But for the government that is there today, we have a good pathway that is being fully funded